The lender did not take care of his client. I've mentioned it before that when you are purchasing a house right now, you can ask and receive contributions towards your closing cost. Now, when you buy a new construction home, that might be called an incentive. Those incentives right now can be really, really big. When you receive these incentives before you agree to anything, you should definitely talk to your lender, because a good lender is going to be able to tell you exactly what you need to ask for to get the most benefit. Sometimes you just take what you can get your hands on, and that's fine too, but just know that if you don't speak with your lender beforehand, that you might have to leave some of those incentives on the table because you're not going to be able to use them all. Yes, so if you're being offered a certain amount of incentive or seller's concessions, also called seller's contribution to buyer's closing costs, if you can't use them all up, the seller just keeps it, or the builder just keeps it. So in order to avoid that, talk to your lender, make sure you can really use every penny that's being offered to you, and you also know exactly what to ask for, besides just whatever you can get your hands on. What can you use those costs for? With new construction, you can buy appliances. They allow you to buy down your rate permanently, do a 3-2-1-2-1 buy down. So there are different options. But what I experienced today, again, it's been a long time since that's actually happened, is that we had to leave some money on the table because the lender did not take care of his client. I was very disappointed and I was very upset, and it was closing time and everything just kind of went very quickly, and we were able to fix a few things. But I was very surprised when on the settlement sheet I saw that the incentive was not completely used up, and I asked about it, and then the lender gave me all kinds of reasons why it wasn't used, and that was very disappointing because had nothing to do with really not using everything that was offered. You could have come up with something. I know you could have either paid down the debt on the buyer side, but you could have done other things, and the lender just, in my opinion, just didn't pay attention to his client, and that was very disappointing. And we just had to struggle last minute to serve this client and help her save an additional $1,500 in this case. All that said, speak to your lender beforehand that you can use up all your incentives and your concessions. If there's a question, find a solution. And the same thing at the end on your settlement statement, all of the incentives should be used up. And if they're not, your lender needs to talk to you before you go to the closing table. It was kind of emotional. I'm not used to that from the lenders that I personally work with. They take very good care of my clients. But because we were forced to use this lender, we were kind of stuck with them and had to deal with that situation at time of closing when everything should be really happy and kind of relaxed because you're at the end. There was a little bit of hectic going on during the closing just to kind of take care of that, and that was just not a good situation.